So this is where we stopped last time, and some people have joined today for the first time. So you can easily follow the 34th shloka, which we will start today. We always start with a little bit of the chanting. So let's begin with that. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Chapter 3, Shloka 34. Indriyasyendriyasyarthe
Indriyasyendriyasyarthe
Ragadveshau vyavasthitau
Ragadveshau vyavasthitau
Tayornavashamagachet
Tayornavashamagachet
Tau hyasya paripanthinau.
Tau yasya paripanthinau.
Everybody, you also please join in the chanting. Indriyasyendriyasyarthe Ragadveshau vyavasthitau Tayornavashamagachet Tau yasya paripanthinau. What does it mean? Attraction and repulsion are rooted in all sense objects. Man should never allow himself to be swayed by them because they are the two principal enemies standing in the way of his redemption. Let's first get the meanings of the words and then we'll discuss the shloka. Raga Dvesha means attraction and repulsion. Rag is attraction, Dvesh is repulsion. Or you can, in simple words, likes and dislikes, but slightly stronger. Vyavasthitau are sure to occur. They are sure to be there. They are definitely going to be happening. Indriyasya for sense organs. For sense organs. Indriyasyarthe in the sense objects. So, in other words, if we want to put these four words together, we would say attraction and repulsion are surely going to occur for the sense organs in the sense objects. Don't worry, I'll explain what it means. Na, do not. Agacheto, come. Do not come. In other words, do not allow yourself to come. Vasha, under the sway of what? Tayo, of them. Do not allow yourself to come under the sway of these two. Which two? Rag and Dvesh. Why? Because Tau, they are asya, a person's paripanthinau, principal enemies, main enemies. Now I will say the whole thing again. Attraction and repulsion or likes and dislikes are surely going to be there for the sense organs in the sense objects. Means the sense organs will surely feel attraction or they will surely feel repulsion for certain objects. And Bhagwan is warning Arjun, Don't come under the sway. Don't let your rag and dvesh, your likes and dislikes, control you. Why? Because on your path of liberation, they are your two main enemies. Easy. Now, we are all born, we learned last time, we are all born with our own prakriti, our own nature, innate nature. And so, if we are on this spiritual journey, it would be good to understand and know what our prakriti is. So, how to find that out? Because it is so deeply embedded in us, I cannot simply know what is my prakriti. So, the clue to our prakriti is what is manifested outside, and that is our likes and dislikes. If we examine what is my like, what is my dislike, what am I attracted to, what am I repulsed by, it will give you a deep insight into your own prakriti. So, rag and dvesh. Rag, attraction. Dvesh, repulsion. Rag means attraction for any worldly object or a person or a situation. Vastu, vyakti or paristhiti. These three things, vastu, object, vyakti, person, paristhiti, situation. If you are attracted towards something of one of these three, we call it rag. And if you are repulsed from any of these three, we call that dvesh. So Bhagavan says that this rag and this dvesh, vyavasthito, you are bound to have them. It is compulsory. Everyone has them. Everyone. Even emancipated, liberated people have likes and dislikes. It is part and parcel of your nature. We are all carrying these tendencies from our past lives. All the vasanas from all the previous lives, they are all sitting inside waiting to be ignited. And they get ignited, or rather they get manifested in the outside world, and they present themselves as I like this or I dislike this. Things which are conducive to my vasana, I will like. Things that are not conducive to my vasanas, message will come from inside. I don't like. So my rag and dvesh is dependent on my vasanas. Biggest culprit. Now even siblings born from the same parents, in the same house, in the same situation, they will have different likes, they will have different dislikes, because they are born with individual vasanas, individual prakritis. And the worst thing, the biggest mistake we make as parents or teachers or guardians is we say ridiculous thing to our children. Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more? You can't, you simply can't, because you are unique with your own blueprint of your vasanas. And these rag and dveshna, they are dosha. They are two faults which are there in your mind. And they are the ones that will give rise to other emotions. They will give, and they will start disturbing the mind like anything. For example, many people, most people, have rag for their own body, for their own beauty. Now, someone who has a lot of rag for how they look and how they appear, they will definitely have fear. Fear of what? Old age. Fear of disease. Fear of death. That shows rag for my this cover. Or if you have a dvesh for any person, let's say, and I know that all of you probably have some dvesh for some person or something, then what's going to come? Some other very khatarnak emotions start coming up, like matsarya, jealousy, krodh, anger, all. So basically rag and dveshna, they are those seeds, and all other negative emotions start sprouting from that. Now, what exactly is this rag and dvesh? Where is it and how does it work? So Bhagwan says, Indriyasyendriyas Indriyasye Indriyasyarthe. Two words together. They are in the sense organs for the sense objects. Your rag and your dvesh, they are not sitting there, they are expressed. Rag and dvesh is expressed through our sense organs for a sense object. And when we say sense object, Vishay, in Vedant, it doesn't necessarily mean a inanimate object. It stands for object, person or situation. Remember that. Now, each sense organ, we have 5 sense organs. Each sense organ is connected to only its corresponding Vishay. For example, the faculty of sight. I don't say eyes because eye is not the sense organ. It's the faculty of sight. Eye is just the physical thing. The faculty of sight is attracted to form, which we call roop. It can only see form. The faculty of eyes or sight cannot hear. It can only see the form. Similarly, the faculty of hearing can only perceive sound, shabd. It cannot process shape. It can only process sound. Similarly, the faculty of taste. It can only process taste, ras. It has no idea of form. It has no idea of sound. Smell can only be attracted to fragrances, aromas, smells, gandha. And touch, this is your 5th sense organ, is only attracted to texture. So we call that sparsh. So each sense object is connected only to a particular form of the Vishay, either Roop or Shabd or Ras or Gandh or Sparsh. So how does this work? Your sense organ, either the hearing or the sight, perceives a certain object. Let's say you perceive this glass through your eyes. If there was some fragrant drink in that, then maybe your sense of smell would also perceive that aroma. And my skin is touching this glass, so it's also perceiving its texture. Okay? Now, as soon as my sense organ, any of them or all of them, perceive any Vishay, any object, the mind runs out from that sense organ. Along with my sight, my sound, my whatever, my mind is running out and bringing this picture, this smell, this texture back into my antakaran. Antakaran means mind equipment. There, the buddhi will start working overtime and start figuring out what is this stimulus which has come inside, what was my past experience with this object. Was it something I liked? Was it something I disliked? It will make a decision, and it will make one analysis. It will make one decision based on previous experiences, and then it will give instructions to my organs of action. What instruction will it give? If it says it was something I liked, it will give the instruction, run to the object. If it is something I dislike, the instruction will come, run away from the object. Either you will be running to the object or you will be running away from the object. In any case, you will be running. And that is where our suffering starts. This is the root cause of our suffering. Either you're running to, so there is anxiety, will I get it? Will it be enough? Will someone else get it? Will I want more? If I'm running away from it, there will be anger, there will be fear, all kinds of things. So all suffering starts with this decision, running to or running away. So Bhagwan, that's why he says, do not come under the sway of your rag and your dvesh. Why? Because these two are Paripanthinav. These are your two principal enemies. They are your principal enemies, your main enemies. Now actually, I believe, I'm not a Sanskrit scholar, I'm not even a Sanskrit scholar, I'm not even a great Sanskrit student, but I have read that Paripanthinav actually means highway robber. You know, when olden days they would travel from one town to another town in coaches, and then these bandits would be sitting on the road waiting for these rich people to be passing by. They will hold up the carriage and they will just take everything from you, whatever they can. Highway robber. So now why Raga and Dvesh highway robber? Why could not have said chore who comes in your house? Why could not have said some other slightly milder robber? Why highway robber? Highway robber sounds like quite drastic. What are they robbing? What is this Raga and Dvesh robbing? You are on the highway. Where? To moksha. You are on the highway to moksha. You are on the path. And in the middle some robber is coming. And what are they robbing? They are robbing your journey. They are robbing the vivek of your buddhi. They are robbing your goal. They are robbing your peace of mind. So that's why, so beautiful, how they find the words. And Sanskrit is such a beautiful, rich language. They will be able to find the exact, see in English, robber, thief at the most. What else you can say? But there are so many different kinds of robbers, and Sanskrit will find the right kind of robber also for you. So they will make us lose sight of our path. They will make us lose sight of our goal. They will make us run after them. If it is rag, they will make us run away from them if it is our dvesh. In both cases, we will go off the highway because you'll be running to or running away. So you will not be on your path anymore. So therefore, we will lose the only reason that we have taken birth in this beautiful human form, our moksha, our liberation. But this is very bad because we are saying Prakriti is inevitable, Raga and Dvesh is inevitable. So what do I do? How do I get rid of this Raga and Dvesh? For every problem that Bhagwan has probably envisaged, he has also envisaged a solution.